Julian Assange is coming up. He's
Still
ready.
nothing.
Julian Assange is just on the phone now, I believe. So we're going to cut to a short break and come back with him and find out
Great.
what's going on in his
Stand by.
world.
It's next here at KIIS FM. Thanks,
The
buddy.
world's most wanted publisher, the founder and editor-in-chief of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. Julian Assange.
Yeah, he's on the air with us right now. He's over in his secret lair. We're getting him on the air every couple of months just to say g'day, see what else is going on. Julian, welcome back on the show,
Hi,
buddy. How are you?
Julian.
G'day. I'm all right.
Hey, we did have
You
an
good?
email from one of our listeners that was worried for your safety, and there's a bit of a conspiracy theory going around based off the
what
fact
is
that
it?
you haven't been seen at your embassy window since October. Usually you'd be at the window or on the balcony.
No, I don't. But maybe once a year. But it's very interesting where it came from. During October in the U.S. election, a lot of conspiracy theories started. And one was pushed with fabricated fake documents saying that I was dead, that I was kidnapped, etc. And that people should not trust WikiLeaks, should not give it any documents, and should not give it any money because it was secretly now run by the CIA. So who benefits from that?
Oh, of course,
right, yes,
yeah.
I see. And do these little things worry you? Like, I know you're sitting there in the embassy, and it must be boring because you've been there for years now. But you did it because you took a stance against everyone that you thought was doing the wrong thing, and you wanted to share with the world things you thought the world should know. But is there a part of you that thinks, oh God, what happens if someone does break in here and kidnap me, or do you fear for your life?
Someone tried to break in, actually, also in early October last year. So that's the kind of thing happens occasionally. We don't know. It was at 3 a.m. on a Monday morning, and they climbed up the wall, up the drain pipe, and they were opening the window with one of their feet. There's cameras everywhere, so it's pretty weird.
But that's
Bloody hell.
yeah, that's interesting because that's around the time where you were last seen. So that adds to that conspiracy
maybe
theory.
there's something to it.
Are we really talking to Julian Assange?
This could be some computer-generated voice for all we know.
Yeah, I mean, there are literally maybe 100,000 people who believe that, who've been infected by these fabricated documents saying that I'm dead, being kidnapped, etc. Lots of videos have been put up under the name Anonymous, saying that it's quite a thing.
It is.
Now, all of the election stuff came out about the Hillary Clinton thing. That all came through WikiLeaks as well. You're no fan of Hillary Clinton, right?
People try and personalize it. They basically, we publish such great stuff about her and her network, what she actually said behind closed doors to big banks like Goldman Sachs and so on. It turns out a lot of Americans didn't like what she actually had to say, but they try and spin it to say it's personal between me and her. It's not personal. It's just that's our business. That's what we do.
Yeah, freedom just to share the information. It's not coming from a personal angle at all.
Well, there is one philosophical angle, which is that basically you can't build anything out of lies and bullshit. And we all know there's plenty of lies and bullshit around. So if you want to try and build a just civilization, or at least a functional one, you got to start by understanding how modern human institutions and power players actually behave. Otherwise, you've got nothing to build on.
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's made a lot of contradictory statements before the election, during the election. I quite like the way that now suddenly it's permissible for most media to criticize government in a way that it wasn't in the past in the United States, and frankly wasn't in major U.S. allies as well. Suddenly now it's acceptable to look into policies of the White House and policies of the Pentagon, look even into how national security appointments are being done. Michael Flynn just got the chop yesterday, U.S. time last night.
Yeah.
So I think that aspect, that suddenly now it's acceptable for the press to actually properly do their job and hold the government to account is a positive. What happens with the rest of the government, we don't know. There's kind of interscene warfare between different factions, between the CIA and the new appointees like Bannon, for example. So that's very interesting to see how that plays out. But for all the rest of us, we get to go, oh, okay, so that's what the factions are. That's what it's really about. And I hear hints, say in Germany, where Germans are speaking about maybe they need to get an independent foreign policy. Maybe they need to, not just follow the US lead all the time now with Trump in the White House. I'd like to believe that Australia finally, for once, will take the same turn. Maybe Australia needs an independent foreign policy as well to be credible.
Right.
Are we a bit cowardly when it comes to doing our own thing, or because we like to just follow the leader in this sort of stuff, don't we?
It's a real embarrassment. I mean, Australia has, to a degree, independent culture. I mean, we speak English, but we have our own interests. We're in the South Pacific, in Asia. We're not simply fulfilled by the interests of the United States or the interests of the UK, let alone the kind of intelligence and military agencies that are kind of call the shots there. So we need to get our own foreign policy, and for what Australia's been sucked into every US war since Korea.
Yeah.
Even the UK stayed out of the Vietnam War.
I know one of the things you wanted to talk about, Julian, was your tour that you're doing here. Obviously, a lot of people are like, what?
How's he doing a tour?
But it's on Skype, which makes sense.
Oh, Skype tour, brilliant. See, Ricky Martin wouldn't be able to get away with this, but definitely you can do this. You've got a legitimate reason.
The situation you're in
is
live,
right. So it's not like lip sync Skype.
So you're no doubt they'll put up a big screen. It won't be just a little Apple laptop there. It'll be a big deal, a big screen.
I hope so.
And you're live on there, and people will fill the auditorium. And what is it, a Q&A situation or what?
It's on Saturday and Sunday Sydney Saturday, Sunday in Melbourne, 7 p.m. Tickets at thinkinc.org.au. I was just kind of joking to some people. It's like a black comedy, 1 hour variety show, but it's not. It's kind of me and the audience together, understanding the world. I hope some inspiration, some lessons that I've learned from my situation here, looking at what is going to happen in the next year or two in politics and in the world.
So you're sitting on more secrets that you haven't shared yet?
Well, we're always preparing to publish them, but yeah, sure. We have some wonderful, amazing stuff this year.
Really?
I'm very kind of in love with it, really.
How long does it take? What's the process before you print something like that?
Well, verification is really tricky.
Yeah.
Like, we get things in different ways, but sometimes, you just have 100 megabytes just turns up. So how do you verify it? It can be really hard. And so we do that forensically, looking into secondary confirmation and so on. So it takes a long time. And then gathering it all together and sort of formatting it, indexing it, making it searchable, making it like a library where you can actually do proper stuff, and then kind of seeing what the political angle is. How can we defend the publication and promote the publication and defend the source of the publication and so on? So it's a tricky business.
You guys are known for protecting your sources very well. How do you go about protecting them?
Well, they just don't say anything.
One got caught, obviously, but
we make it kind of. We have technical protections. So the technical protections are a lot of cryptography and computer security, anonymization, etc. So that's technical protections. But then
is that like my password to open my phone? The same sort of thing, but a bit more advanced.
Yeah. Well, modern smartphones are a problem.
Yeah,
and you've seen the AFP in Australia going around subpoenaing records of journalists all over the place. So we do stuff so that can't happen. And then we kind of make it known that we're kind of mean in a fight. And so that means a lot of companies and police forces and so on don't want to go too close to going after our sources because we fight back.
Yeah.
Which is good to know. So people know that if they do send you stuff, that you guys will not just, dog them and throw them under the bus, that you'll do the very best to protect them.
That's right, and I started a foundation, the Courage Foundation. It's couragefound.org, which runs the defense campaigns for Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and many others. Because we wanted to kind of do this for other sources, not even just my sources, but other sources as well. Then occasionally we have situations where someone gets caught. It's alleged, for example, Chelsea Manning spoke to a journalist in the US that betrayed her.
Right.
And so, okay, that's nothing to do with us, but we don't like the precedent, of seeing sources go to prison. And so we had an amazing victory this year. After years of campaigning, we managed to get Barack Obama to give Chelsea Manning a clemency. You think about how hard that is to get the President of the United States to take a 35-year sentence down to 7 years, and what that takes behind the scenes to do.
And that I've heard you say in the past that you never actually said that if she was granted clemency, you would leave the embassy. You denied that you said that.
No, I didn't say that. I said that if he granted clemency, then I would accept extradition to the United States. So that's,
but you never said when.
WikiLeaks say that. But then Obama, it's a very interesting thing. Okay, so look at it from Obama's point of view. We exposed the hell out of Hillary Clinton and her network during the election. That was all her own words. And so the Democrats were smarting over that. Now, Chelsea Manning's going for clemency. So what's that? That's giving WikiLeaks a big free kick.
Yeah.
Because having one of our alleged sources get out of prison 28 years early. Why would you do that if you were Barack Obama after we had just kind of, beaten up Hillary Clinton? Well,
why did he do it?
We had to get rid of the criticism in the Democratic Party. So there's some people who are supporting it, some people opposing. We had to get rid of the opposing voices. So that was me saying, which I said in September and in January, that I will accept extradition to the United States if Barack Obama gives Manning clemency. Because then all these anti-WikiLeaks forces in the Democratic Party go, actually giving Manning clemency, well, that's going to make it hard for Assange, because then he'll either be extradited or we'll say he's a liar if he doesn't accept it, etc. In the end, Obama, so that worked. And then in the end, Obama, to look tough, said that, well, this offer of Assange played no part at all. So there's no quid pro quo. So I'm like, okay, there's no quid pro quo. So that means we can talk about how we're going to do it in a different way. But right now we've approached the Department of Justice and said, okay, what do you want to do with this? Because are you going to keep this case going against me forever? Or is there something that can be done? Is that we say you should drop it. It's unconstitutional. It's unlawful. It's outrageous to detain a publisher for 6 years without charge. And they continue on, but the ball's in their court now. So, I mean, hopefully the new DOJ, not that he said bad things in the past about Snowden, but maybe the new Department of Justice official, Jeff Sessions, new Attorney General, he will do things in a different way, but we have to see. There's been no reply yet.
Okay.
Well, that's all fascinating, but what I really want to know is what's going on with you and Pamela Anderson. Some sort of romance there?
Yeah, a lot of people want to know that, which is quite, I guess it's helpful to draw attention to this situation. But Pamela Anderson's an impressive figure. No,
100%.
That out of context.
It always has been.
She's an attractive person with an attractive personality and whip smart.
Yeah, she's no idiot. I've met her. She's
exactly.
as smart as a whip.
She's no idiot at all. She's psychologically very savvy.
And you're in love with her, right?
And over the last 2 years, she has done more to try and get this Australian, me, out of detention without charge than the combination of the government of Gillard, Rudd, Abbott and Turnbull combined. It's absurd. Right? It should not take Pamela Anderson to do the Australian government's job, as capable as she is.
But have you formed a love affair with her?
Well, I like her. She's great, but I'm not going to go into private details.
Ooh.
Sure. But you've seen her. Oh, well, I don't want to go. Oh, now I really want to know more. I want a separate WikiLeaks to come out with this information.
She's great. We have other kind of, there's basically you got people like Pamela Anderson who are independent, because they kind of manage their own career. She's a Canadian American. She can't really be squeezed by, by a TV executive or something like that.
Julie, I'm just going to let you know now, I'm starting up my own information. I'm calling it Pammy Leaks, and I'm going to ask people to share information that they know, because obviously you can't say because you're a gentleman.
Yeah, we protect our sources.
Okay, Pammy Leaks. It started today. Don't bring it down, because I know you're all powerful. Let it get some traction.
Yeah, there's people like Pamela have basically gone, it's pretty disgusting what's gone on.
It is.
Where you've got two UN rulings in the last 12 months saying I'm being illegally detained without charge 6 years now. And you got the Australian government doing nothing at all. And the situation just goes on. So you got some of those good people who are kind of independent and courageous. And those people come to defend WikiLeaks and to defend me, and full marks to them.
Well, if you want to see him up on the big screen, I hope there's no buffering issues, because nothing shits me more than the buffering. But I'm sure you'll have that sorted. The interview, real-time interview, Q&A, head off to thinkinc.org.au for your tickets. It's happening Feb 18 in Sydney and 19th of February in Melbourne. Julian, nice to talk to you as always, my friend.
To us.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys.
Send us the wedding invite, though, first, okay?
Okay, bye.
Thanks, buddy. Nice to talk to you. Julian Assange on the air this morning here at KIIS FM.